In a major crossing of party lines, Democrat Michael Eric Dyson texted Republican Nancy Mace a kissy emoji.
A Brazilian political debate is interrupted when one candidate enters the ring with a steel chair.
Oh my God! A vegan festival in New York has been compared to the disastrous Woodstock 99. While both did have corn.
A penguin who fathered over 200 chicks has died. Mr. Popper's penguins, more like Mrs. Penguin's poppin'.
What's up, Doc? Check your clock. This is the Tickety Talk Down.
Hi, I'm Adam Yenser, and I once drove Max Weinberg's BMW.
Well, I'm Ethan Nicolle, and I once rode in a limo with a boondock saint.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
who's Max Weinberg again?
He's the drummer from Conan's band, and he's the drummer.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why he's hated that guy, but he's probably nice.
He's the drummer for Bruce Springsteen.
Is he a nice guy? It's that face he makes when he drums.
With him.
Okay. Personal friends, deep personal friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that like face he makes? He looks like Egon from Ghostbusters.
Yeah, and he always played off on Conan. He would kind of do the stare into the camera, the very deadpan.
Yeah.
Look. Yeah.
Oh, is that like a joke?
Yeah, they kind of play off the fact that there was no chemistry when they would try to joke around or talk. It would just end with Max staring blankly into the camera. But it was funny. He was in a lot of funny bits, and he's an amazing drummer.
Yeah. Well, we'll tell you these stories and some more stuff at the subscriber portion at the end.
You got to sign up and pay for that, right?
That's what it's called, the Down Talk. It's called Downtime.
Downtime.
Down Talk.
We're still figuring out what this whole thing is.
Exactly. I mean, we're still in our infancy.
Yeah,
episode 22.
We're growing. We're still a baby.
This is a very special 22nd episode. We're owning the libs and canceling cancel culture. If you want to stand for free speech, just send us all your money.
Yep.
So how was your week, Adam?
Oh, it was good.
You smell like grease.
I was doing a cruise or a yacht gig. It wasn't a cruise ship. It was a yacht.
Oh, really?
It was a fancier.
Where's the line?
It's a fancier, smaller cruise ship.
Okay, so you're the only
affluent people.
But it's like bizarre eyes wide shut stuff going on.
It's funny because that's originally what I was worried about. My cruise ship booker. Did I tell this on here? She told me because I'd done cruise ships before, and my booker called me at one point and she was like, "Hey, would you want to do another ship gig? It's a little more. It's for more upscale clientele. It's a smaller boat. I don't really want to say where it's going this point until we book it." And I go, is this Epstein Island stuff?
Oh yeah, I think you said that.
Yeah. But no, it was very nice. It was beautiful. There was 2 shows on board the ship. I had to do 2 different clean 45-minute sets. So it was an intimidating
you had to
amount of time to fill.
Get rid of all your rape jokes.
But I didn't do any of those. I'll do those if I get booked on Carnival. They have no rules.
Carnival.
But the cruise was amazing because it was in the Mediterranean. So I flew to Athens, Greece. I had a day layover in Athens, so I got to see the Acropolis. I got to see Plato's Academy, like the ruins of it. Which, by the way, everything in Athens is very preserved very well. They're good at preserving their history. Not Plato's Academy. It's almost criminal how it's in a park and there's ruins there. And then even the signs they have to market are kind of in ruins and falling over. It's just a very... It was kind of
people just kind of like sit on it.
Disappointed, yeah. I sat on it.
Really?
There's no it's not really protected or well maintained. It's just
Plato wasn't that big deal, right? He's just
the founder of Western thought.
But is he?
Yeah.
Didn't he just write down everything Socrates said?
He wrote down a lot of what Socrates, like everything Socrates said. But then towards the end of his philosophy,
oh, he did write stuff.
He incorporated. There's some debate over where in his dialogue Socrates' philosophy ended, and Plato kind of incorporated Socrates still as the main speaking character. But he'd incorporate other characters, often Plato's brothers, and they would kind of articulate his own philosophy through the dialogues.
He's showing off because he was a philosophy major in college.
Exactly, yeah. But and we stopped at a port in Turkey. I got to see the ruins of Ephesus, the city that Paul wrote.
That's straight out of the Bible.
Yeah, and it's very cool because the whole city, it's like a whole city of ruins you can walk through, and you can see like the pre-Christian era and then the Christian era. And then, like, as it developed, there's...
Christian era sounds like a sandwich shop for Christians, like Panera.
Does it? Christian era. If you make it all one word, yeah.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have stopped you with that stupid
No, that's
joke.
all right. No, it was totally worth stopping my story about the ancient city of Ephesus to make a joke about a Christian sandwich shop. My favorite thing in Turkey, though, I brought a picture of this. I don't know how I never do this. Turkey has the best stop signs in the world. Their word for stop is "dur." So it's just, I think they should adopt that. They should adopt those signs around the whole world. Just every time you come to a stop, just "dur." There's an intersection, "dur." There's traffic coming.
Yeah, don't drive through this road where cars are going.
Like, why would you not stop here, "dur"? So I greatly enjoyed that. And then I toured a lot of the Greek islands too. I was on. I saw Patmos, where John wrote the Book of Revelation.
Oh yeah, but that was wild.
That was crazy. You can actually they have the cave where he was in.
How do they know what cave he was in?
They say it's that. They built a church, like a monastery there, so they say it's that cave. I don't know if there's a lot of caves on that island, but that's where allegedly they know it was that island. They say
right. How big is it? Is it big enough to where you like? Oh, this is the cave. There's not many caves.
It's not a huge island. No, it's like I can estimate, but just a few miles around or a few kilometers. They don't have miles over there.
Patmos.
They have kilometers. And then I was on Mykonos, which is a beautiful island, and I saw this sign for a car rental place, and it says asimomitis. And I took a picture because that sounds like a disease. Like, does your mom suffer from asimomitis? Have her screened today.
I'm gonna suck if you worked a mom and you
get
had
it treated immediately. But yeah, I saw the ruins of the Acropolis and the wonders of ancient Greece and Turkey. And I brought you pictures of a stop sign and the word asimomitis.
Asimomitis.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I wanted to mention, I watched the episode last week. Kira filled in. Kira was awesome. She's always great.
Yeah, she was the Disney Plus version of you.
And in the opening, I heard you watch Santa Jaws with your son this week.
Yeah, my son found it.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Really?
Me and my friends watch it every Christmas. We found it. We found it 3 years ago. And we do these movie nights every now and then where we deliver.
You've watched it multiple times?
Oh, yes. I've watched it 3 times and we love it.
Wow.
We love that movie. We often have these movie nights where we look up those sort of crappy B movie kind of.
Yeah,
We've watched Velocipaster. We've watched.
How was that? I've almost watched it a few times.
So Velocipaster it's crappier even so than Santa Jaws.
Right.
And it kind of has a sense of humor about itself, but it also drags, and the effects are very strange. It's not great. We recently watched one called Chompy and the Girls. It's about a man with a giant mouth who eats little girls.
Chompy and the Girls.
And it gets even weirder. Like that's not the weirdest part of it. We watched one called Ginger Dead Man, where Gary Busey voices
what? How do I not know these? I feel like I know bad movies.
But see, of all of them, Santa Jaws became one of our favorites because it kind of knows exactly what lane it's in. Some of them try to be taken too seriously, and some of them are sort of too.
It's in that sci-fi like Sharknado universe sort of thing, right?
The acting's kind of corny, but the premise is it's like a dumb premise, but they really do it well. So yeah, me and my friends, we enjoy watching Santa Jaws.
It's like literally everybody just could not go to the water and they would live.
Yes, that's what we always say. All you have to do is not go in the water.
And
the shark is attracted to Christmas things, so they keep accidentally knocking Christmas things into the water, and then the shark comes. And I like how high the body count it is. It has a high body count.
I was watching with my son where it was at the beginning of it, and he'd already seen the whole thing, and he wanted me to sit and watch it with him.
Yeah.
Again.
See, he wanted to watch it again too. It's fantastic.
And he goes, they will all die except for him.
Yeah.
He told me. He doesn't know about spoilers.
It's one of the best first deaths in any movie I've seen.
I remember the
first death. I don't want to give it away.
That opening, the comic book scene.
Yeah. Well, there's the comic book scene. I don't mean that
after that. Okay.
I mean after that, when the kid goes fishing with his one relative, and they're like, oh well, it's a great movie. So I was thrilled that you brought that up. I love Santa Jaws. How was your week this week?
My week has been mostly doing dad stuff. Like I think I might have mentioned on the podcast earlier that we decided to get, we always had these above ground little pools, like a kiddie pool, and my wife was like, hey, let's upgrade and get a real above ground pool.
Oh,
one of those is like 18 feet by 4 feet or something, or 13 by 4. So it's big.
Still
it's like
the
the size
that you set up, not like one that you have to have like installed, right?
I would install. I set it up, but it's like
up on your own.
Big.
Yeah, I know what you
holds a bunch of water. It's like the size of a big trampoline, and I just didn't realize like all the crap that's going to come with it.
Oh yeah,
I gotta I've been battling this algae and like trying to keep the water clean, and like now I'm learning about pH levels and like trying to get all the chemicals right. And like, I don't even know if Clorox is ripping me off because they have to put these little test strips in the water, and then it tells you what products to buy from Clorox in order and what to put in. And I'm like, I don't even know if they just make it up. They just tell me to buy Flobbergavin 99, and then I'll just buy that and like dump 3 pounds in.
Yeah.
I don't even know. And so anyway,
Do you
Just
have to
think
put
before you buy a pool.
Do you have to put a fence around the yard?
We have a fence.
Oh, okay, good. Because I remember when I was a kid growing up, I had 2 younger brothers.
Bunch of hobos in your pool?
No, we didn't have a pool, but my parents often talked about getting one of those. But then we could have afforded the pool, but then because of zoning laws, if you have a pool, you have to put a fence up for safety.
Oh, really?
And the fence, like, because we had a huge property, it was like 2 acres, so it would have been expensive to then get all this other stuff you had to get if you have a pool in your yard.
I don't even know what the zoning laws are. If they're even supposed to have that back there.
Who knows? But it's
we have a trampoline here, a pool
pH
here.
Levels are good.
No, I still have. There's stuff that I've ordered that is like hasn't arrived yet. So, but it's much cleaner now. I've actually.
Oh, that's good.
It's weird how like much pride I take in it. I'm like, oh, it's so clean, it's clear now. But yeah, I had to buy like a pool vacuum cleaner. I have to like vacuum. The worst thing I've got is I had to buy a whole new filtration system for it because the one that comes with it is garbage. It uses sand. And I have not been able to figure this out. It keeps shooting sand back into the pool.
Oh, that's not good.
From the filter. And the best thing I'll figure out is that there's the brand of sand that I got.
You know what you need? You need to hire a sexy pool boy.
Yeah, I know. Well, a lot of them are like, we don't do above ground pools. They're like, they might do the water. I don't know. But I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's not an interesting story.
It was
interesting. It's just venting.
Oh, it blew sand back in the pool.
Yeah, it's every day I go out to my new pool vacuum, which you have to be very slow because if you quickly go into sand, it clouds all around. So you have to very slowly vacuum the sand up. And then the next day you go out there and it's shot more sand in.
Well, you got to make sure the pool's clean if your wife goes in because you don't want her to get acidomitis.
Yes, we don't want acidomitis. I don't know what the symptoms of acidomitis are. All right, you ready to talk down this week's news?
Talk down the news.
You are a sorry, sick soul, Michael Eric Dyson rips into Representative Nancy Mace's claims that he flirted with her in a text. He accuses her of trying to exploit the situation. Michael Eric Dyson, he fiercely denounced the suggestion that he flirted with Congresswoman Nancy Mace after a CNN interview last month in which she alleged that he called her racist. Now, I always confuse this guy, the name anyway, with Miles Bennett Dyson from Terminator 2. The guy, remember when he dies?
Yeah. It's funny because I wouldn't remember that name, but they may not have seen this because we edited it, but you even made that mistake in the intro. When we were introing this,
I had to do it 2 takes.
Said Miles Bennett.
Because I actually said Miles Bennett Dyson instead of Michael Eric Dyson. He's the guy that created the Terminator hand.
They do look kind of similar.
They're black, yeah.
No, they don't look similar at all.
Not at all. No, I mean, anyway, did you see that interview where like this lady was on this round table with all these Democrats? And I'm not saying she's the most brilliant person in the room. I don't know.
They were very like negative towards her.
Because she didn't say Kamala right.
Yeah.
And they acted like, clearly you're racist because you won't say Kamala properly.
There's videos of Kamala saying it different ways herself.
And everybody, like until now, suddenly it's a big thing.
Yeah.
So that video went viral, but he really scolded her like in that video. The weirdest thing, I have a picture here. He doesn't look her in the face at all when he talks to her. Okay. He's like staring down like near her chest. He's blinded by her
beauty. He wanted to like he's lecherously staring at her chest. He's concerned that she might have acidomitis. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's really weird how he does that. And he does this. He's a pastor or a minister or something. He does that like propagate, administrate, and confenestrate.
Oh,
and he does that like
Jesse Jackson used to do.
He does that kind of thing. And so he's doing that, looking down below her chin very strangely and telling her how she's how racist. Problematic it is that she's not saying Kamala instead of Kamala. Anyway, the interview made headlines after Mace repeatedly mispronounced Vice President Kamala Harris's name during the segment, refused to correct herself. He didn't call her racist on air, but explained why her behavior was problematic. Now, during a congressional hearing on Thursday, Mace showed her fellow lawmakers a screenshot of a text that Dyson sent her that featured a photo the pair took after the CNN interview, portraying it as flirtatious. Now, I enjoy this story because this guy drives me crazy. I saw him when he debated on the Monk debates with Jordan Peterson.
I didn't see that, but I'll have to check that out.
And he called, for one thing, everyone was arguing was stupid. It was more of that stuff like, it's more that like everything rhymes And you're like, the foot is straight, the
It reminds me,
pop it up a date.
Remember when Will Ferrell used to do Jesse Jackson? He'd go, a hippity-dippity and a rat-a-tat-tat.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so finally, like, he, like, pauses and he goes, you are a mean white man, or something like that, a mean, angry white man.
Will Ferrell was Daryl Hammond, right? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't ever watch this.
It was Daryl Hammond. I forget which one I said, but yeah.
You said Will Ferrell.
Daryl Hammond is who it was, yeah.
Ferrell Hammond. Anyway, so in this text, she says, this is her talking. In this text, he says, after calling me racist on CNN, don't tell anybody we look good together, and sent a kiss emoji.
It's like the laugh and the kiss.
The laugh and the kiss, yeah. The South Carolina lawmaker said in Thursday's hearing, then the guy says, I'm gorgeous in all these photos. I don't think he's that bent out of shape on how anyone pronounces Kamala.
And he put first he does. So yeah, let's look at this. Don't tell anybody.
Text he sent.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't put it up yet. There.
So we're looking at it right now. So yeah, there's like a bunch of photos of them together. Shh, don't tell anybody. We look good together. And then it's like the laugh emoji and then the kiss emoji with the wink.
And then she just responds.
Lots of laughs.
That's like way too many.
Too many ha's. Yeah. Way too many ha's for that.
One ha, you don't think it's actually funny.
I do think writing ha is definitely a sign that
two ha's is okay.
That's a Gen X sign.
For me, 3 ha's is genuine. If I write ha,
that's a real laugh.
That's when I actually think it's funny.
Do you ever do LOL?
I do LOL sometimes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never do LOL.
I use LOL sometimes.
But I guess you're younger than me.
But I do ha if I actually think something's funny.
Okay. And then he doubles down after she just says ha. And he ha-has her ha. Yeah. He adds the ha. Well, your gorgeousness makes the photos, so there's that. And then the blushing smile. He didn't pick the normal smile.
I feel like
the blushing smile.
I feel like he might have done better with her.
This guy's a boomer, right?
I feel like he might have done better with her if he picked more masculine emojis. Those are like
maybe
like the laughing face and what man uses the smiling blushy face emoji?
Especially a guy that old. I only use that with my wife.
Yeah. I use the smiling blushy face emoji ironically. Like,
yeah.
Funny.
Sure.
Like that. Yeah, not a
Anyway, Dyson posted a response on his Instagram fuming at Mace's conduct during the hearing. He read off the full text exchange with Mace and clarified. He was joking about how united they looked in the pictures they took after the CNN interview, given her their different political stances. I ain't hitting on Nancy Mace. This is a woman trying to exploit a situation, trying to pretend as if I was trying to hit on her, Dyson said. What you're trying to do is generate nastiness and viciousness because you're so bitter because you got your butt whipped that night because I told you then that what you're doing is wrong, he said to Mace. He also condemned Mace's characterization of his intentions behind the text as vicious, misleading, and ultimately, here it is, racist.
Everything is racist.
It's racist. It always
comes back to racist.
So he's, your attempt is sad and sorry. Your bigoted, racist attempt will not succeed, Dyson remarked. I love he's just exposed for this DM.
Yeah.
There was no attempt to do anything but to be gracious to you, but you have proved to be what I said you weren't, a vicious white supremacist racist. So she wasn't racist before, and now she is for this exposing his text.
He says I was doing nothing but being gracious to you
yes.
by saying, shh, we look good together. You're gorgeous with like kissing faces and
you sorry sick soul.
Also, the laughing emoji after something, that's like when you put, like he's clearly hitting on her, but he puts the laughing face in there so that if she doesn't take it as flirting.
No, I take it as
he can be like, oh, I was joking. But unless you're into it, then I'm not joking.
Exactly. Because he's okay. This guy's on his third marriage.
Yeah.
And then so there's another video that I saw Matt Walsh cover this. And there's a video where to defend himself, he showed a bunch of other texts he had sent women to show this is just how I talk to ladies. And it shows like, to me, what I saw was like, okay, this guy clearly, when he puts that kissy emoji on,
yes,
he's throwing out the signal. Like,
yes,
would you maybe we're joking, maybe there's something more. I don't know.
We'll see
what do you think?
Goes.
Yeah, we'll see where this goes.
The laughing face is a little safety net.
It's a little, I was joking.
We're just joking. It also,
but seriously, would you ever send a kissy emoji to like a random girl?
No, not if we weren't on those terms already.
Or if you were trying to communicate that. I mean, I still wouldn't.
No, if you weren't actually flirting or actually like romantically involved with somebody, I wouldn't send them a kissy emoji.
Right. It's so weird.
Yeah.
And even commenting on how gorgeous they are.
It also, it takes balls to sexually harass someone who has Mace in their name.
That's true. Well, Michael Eric Dyson may have sent Nancy Mace a kissy emoji, but at least he didn't pee in her driveway.
Uh-oh, what's coming next?
Sydney homeowner comes up with ingenious solution to people peeing in his driveway. Right. All right, it's an Australian story. A Sydney homeowner who has become fed up with late-night drinkers using his property as a makeshift toilet has taken matters into his own hands, setting up an ingenious and so far very effective wee trap.
The old wee trap.
The old wee trap. That's what they used to call, I almost said some woman. I can't think of a woman to put there. It'd be wrong. For far too long.
Kamala.
The old zipper. Yeah, the old wee trap. Yeah. For far too long, Stephen Bodnar from Waverley in Sydney has had to deal with inebriated individuals using his driveway as a place to relieve themselves. Men and women alike have stumbled upon in there from nearby pubs, the Charing Cross Hotel and the Robin Hood Hotel, and onto his property for years, leaving an unpleasant reminder of their visit.
Yeah.
The worst was when I go out to dinner or something and then drive into my driveway. They weed right there and my door opens, he told 7 News. Right where his door opens, there's P. I have to translate myself. Finally fed up, the electrician decided to install a $3,000 sprinkler and CCTV system to keep them away. And so far, it's working like a charm. I've had no other option than to take matters into my own hands, I think, he said. The deterrent includes a motion detector, which triggers a light, and then a 3-minute downpour between the hours of 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. It'll go straight off whenever I'm here on the other side of the world, Bodnar said. I like this. The Robin Hood hotel owner, I guess is the hotel that's near his place, Daniel Witten, said he'd been offered a solution to the problem. It was turned down. We offered to pay for a gate so that people actually couldn't go into his property, but that was declined at the time, he said.
See, that part gets weird to me. That's fishy.
Okay. That's the weird part.
Yeah. Well, no, what's weird is it sounds like, wouldn't it have been cheaper to let them
put the gate in?
Put a gate up instead.
My only thing is, I wonder.
But
a gate is a never-ending pain in the butt because you have to keep unlocking it.
But he spent $3,000 on sprinklers and a CCTV system. Why is he recording them, and why doesn't he want a gate to block them? There's something fishy about this story. No, don't put up the gate. I want to record them and then spray them with water and make them all wet.
Well, he has a bunch of videos. You can watch it if you go to the link in the story.
I bet he does. I bet he has a bunch of videos.
But yeah, he's got all these. Yeah. Whenever he's like not. I know. I kind of get it though. I wish I had this for the cats. My daughter's cats get up onto our kitchen counter.
Yeah.
And like they should not be on a kitchen counter. Animals should not be on kitchen counters. I don't care if you're a cat owner. I've seen people who allow this. I want some kind of sprinkler system that just blasts them if they get on.
But so you said you can see the videos also?
They're blurred though.
You go to downunder.com and watch my videos of people peeing in my yard.
Well, pretty much as soon as they walk in there, like I think a little sound goes off and all of a sudden the skirt's spraying and they just
I see.
It doesn't wait till like you get a good shot of the cameras aren't at like crotch level.
But he didn't want them to just buy him a free gate.
That's true. It is a little sus, as they say these days.
Yeah. Well, speaking of places full of gross people and pee smells, Vegan Festival in New York compared to Fyre Fest by angry plant-based mobs. This was another one of your stories. You want to read through this one?
Sure. A recent vegan festival has gone viral on social media after unhappy attendees complained of 90-minute-long queues in seriously poor facilities and amenities. People are so unhappy with the lack of organization and chaos that some users on X even began likening the event to the infamous mess that was Fyre Festival. If this isn't a prime example of how to thoroughly piss off a mob of vegans, then I don't know what is. Well, I mean, there's like sneaking them food with meat in it.
Yeah, that would
piss them off. I was with some vegan girls one time and they're just chowing these Doritos down. And then suddenly they started like reading the ingredients and they realized that like there's some kind of beef base that was like in Doritos. And they both were like, threw away. Like they were like traumatized.
Wow.
It's like, okay, calm down. The Traveling Food and Music Festival, aptly named Vegandale, kicked off in Queens, New York City on Saturday, 14th. The event attracted tens of thousands of people. It's crazy. All of whom were excited to embrace their plant-based selves and taste some zesty vegan samples. However, things didn't really go as planned. A couple of attendees who spoke to the New York Times spent up to $90 on their ticket for a VIP experience, told the publication that most people didn't even manage to get into the festival, citing bottlenecks at the entrance caused by too few metal detectors and a lengthy ticketing process. Oh, that's pretty cheap for a VIP picture.
There's a lot of security at this vegan festival.
Well, probably
metal detectors.
Yeah, I guess there's only so they have to funnel everybody through these 2 metal detectors. I can't afford more than 1, more than 2.
I just picture a bottleneck of skinny vegan people, just emaciated, starving people.
They did say people were passing out in the line, but I assume anytime vegans are in lines, there are people passing out.
Yeah.
What do you think VIP gets you in a
meat?
The actual meat, or they get vegan meat that actually tastes like
good.
Does it taste like the tofu?
Good stuff, yeah.
Or they get vegan human flesh. They get the really upscale. Get to eat the crazy, freaky,
Soylent Green.
Yeah. We were starving and cranky and miserable, festival goer Rocco Maranghelli recounted. I don't think they have the manpower to face the waves of vegans that were trying to crash those gates, he continued. I don't know if vegan festivals have manpower.
Yeah. And aren't vegans always starving, cranky, and miserable?
It sounds like
that's their
base plan.
State. Yeah.
Moreover, if you were lucky enough to make it inside the event, you were faced with even more chaos, water shortages, little to zero shade, and a complete lack of proper bathrooms made the entire experience feel less like a schmoozy vegan fest in New York and a lot more like Woodstock 1999. Well, both did have corn, as I mentioned before, and probably Limp Biscuits.
Yes.
You know, vegans try to make bread. It's like crap.
Oh, really? I've never had. I don't think I've had.
No. Okay, I'm actually getting that wrong. It's not vegan bread because most bread is vegan. It's the bread.
But
it's gluten-free bread.
Gluten-free bread.
Yeah,
okay.
my wife eats a lot of gluten-free stuff.
Oh, okay.
There probably still is some crappy. I'm still going to say there's some crappy biscuits. One user was so mad about the entire drama of it, he shared on X that comparing Vegan Dale to Fyre Festival is actually an insult to Billy McFarland's shit show. He said that. I don't cuss. I heard it. Violence broke out. Oh wait, that's a joke of mine. I heard violence broke out. Actually, a lot of people were killed.
I'm so glad you went back.
I read my own typo too.
And made sure you balked at your own joke before you said it.
I didn't see the punchline. I was like, why is that written so badly? And then anyway, responding to the criticism.
Why is this joke written so bad?
A lot of people were killed.
We got it.
Yeah. Responding to the criticism, a Vegan Dale spokesperson stated, "We faced a few logistical challenges, which are part of working with a new venue. It was our first year at Citi Field, but the overall experience was really positive." I guess that's how they said that.
Nice.
Anyway, I don't know, Woodstock 99, but vegan sounds safer than Woodstock 99.
Yeah.
Overall.
I don't think the people would have the energy to riot. I think they just wear themselves
down. But it does sound like it. Have you seen that?
The documentary?
The documentary. Yeah. Wild. I'm into those. You the Fyre one too?
Yeah, I've seen both of the Fyre Festival ones.
Oh, there's two of them?
There's two.
Oh.
You've seen
I've seen one on Netflix.
I forget which is which. Have you seen the one where the guy admits that he was prepared to perform sexual favors to
Fyre Festival?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Oh, I think it's the Hulu one.
Okay.
One of them is, they're both interesting, but one of them goes off the deep end crazy and has this section that's not in the other one.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
All right. Well, Vegan Dale may be a failure for vegans, but you might consider this next story a vegan win. Man stabs himself to death separating frozen burgers. This is a sad story. Yeah, guy died. Sad. But I do imagine a vegan would take some pleasure in this because they're sick
it's
people.
Karma to them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. A man died in a kitchen mishap after accidentally stabbing himself while trying to separate frozen burgers with a knife.
Jeez.
It took police more than a month to figure this out. Area coroner Patricia Morgan concluded that Mr. Griffiths, with restricted use of one arm following a stroke, most likely died. So he's trying to separate frozen burgers with one arm.
Is limited use, I guess, of one arm, and he was trying to separate them with a knife.
But with one hand. Because I already can. Because what drew me to the story is I have nearly killed myself a couple of times trying to separate frozen burgers with a knife too.
Yeah, because the knife, because
it's ice,
gets stuck and you can't.
Yeah, and you're putting all your pressure into it, all of a sudden it just
flies off
flying.
any different direction.
You could stab someone next to you.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no sign of anything stolen. There's no blood. There was blood in the hallway, bathroom, and bedroom. But they ruled out any third party involvement. So they pretty much just figured out that this guy, they thought the freezer was open. And they just kind of deduced nothing was stolen. Nobody had been there. This poor guy lived by himself and wanted to have some burgers one night. And he was trying to separate those godforsaken hamburger patties.
You got to de-thaw them.
You got to do it
first, right?
Yeah. I always over-thaw, and then they come out like with some of the brown.
Oh, yeah.
Something about microwaved meat sounds disgusting to me.
Yeah. And
you ever tried just microwaving meat and eating it?
No, but it sounds like you have.
I haven't. I've always been curious, like to just try it. Just put like a raw patty in the microwave.
Go from raw to cooked in one.
Just should be a rubber, right? Yeah,
on high for 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes. Yeah, it probably take 5 minutes.
I don't know.
It's pretty hot, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I felt bad for that one.
Yeah, really. That is
it's really sad, but
speaking of things that need to be separated.
All right.
During a live debate, Brazilian mayoral candidate hits opponent with chair.
Classic.
Yeah. I think we have the video here. We'll put the video up here.
Você não arruma nem para fazer isso. Você não é louco, bater? Pode. Nossos comerciais não vão bater.
So there you see what happened. A televised debate among election rivals for mayor of Sao Paulo, Brazil, descended into chaos when one struggling candidate whacked another with a chair and was expelled. I feel like there should be official debate rules. Like if someone hits you with a chair, you have 15 seconds to respond and hit them with a chair.
Is there rules for that in WWF?
I don't know what the rules are there.
Yeah, I don't know.
He should have bladed himself. Is that what they do in WWE when they cut themselves and they bleed? They should have just turned into a wrestling match at that point.
Right. Yeah, let me think. Because I can't imagine if this happened in one of our debates. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, really. We think our political process is in shambles.
Yeah, we're like, we're like Jerry Springer fight. Yeah. But no, that's Jerry Springer.
Nobody's hit each other. Well, we still have the Walls Vance debate coming up.
That's true.
Maybe one of them will break out a chair.
Yeah. Walls will have tampon nunchucks.
They'll be arguing over who's more masculine. Like that's one of the big storylines is they're trying to portray Tim Walz as super masculine.
Oh, he's so masculine, yeah.
During Sunday's debate, candidate Jose Luis de Tena, a TV presenter, exploded when opponent Pablo Marsal, a far-right influencer. Now, this is from NBC News, so we can assume he's just regular conservative.
Regular right.
Put in far-right.
Far-right.
I don't know who this guy is. I don't want to defend him, but
I don't know.
I'm always skeptical when they say far-right influencer. Yeah. When opponent Pablo Marsal, far-right influencer, said de Tena was not man enough to hit him as he had previously threatened. So he had previously threatened to do this. De Tena had threatened to hit Marsal in a prior debate when Marsal brought up a sexual harassment complaint against de Tena by a coworker. In his rage, de Tena picked up a chair and brought it crashing down on Marsal's shoulder. De Tena, who is polling in 5th place for the October 6th election, was expelled from the debate.
You're expelled.
Marsal left to get medical attention for a bruised rib, his spokesperson said. The remaining candidates continued the debate. The debate just kept going after that.
So I wonder if the guy... How do you do in a debate if you're the one who gets hit with a chair? Because if he had to leave to go get his ribs checked out.
Oh, yeah, maybe
I would have stuck around.
Yeah, because he didn't get to finish. That's not fair.
I think Trump would have stuck around.
Trump would have stood up and pumped his fist in the air with the blood.
He'd be bleeding. Yeah. Like, I'm fine. Let's keep it going.
I took a chair for democracy is what he'd say.
Yeah, there'd be shirts.
And then the debate moderators would be like, yes, let's move on to helping the Democratic candidate.
I think the guy was just trying to give him a few good Brazilian whacks.
I proved that
Brazilian wax.
Good one.
You proved it.
I'm just surprised. He was accused of sexual harassment in Brazil. I didn't even know Brazil had sexual harassment laws. Aren't they all like running around naked at Carnival all the time?
Yeah, and like tearing their pubes off like crazy.
I don't know.
So it sounds like a wild place.
Yeah. Well, most people think what de Tena did was wrong, but it's not black and white. At least not as black and white as our next story. Penguin, who fathered over 200 offspring, dies at Maryland Zoo.
Man, sad. Another sad one.
Yeah. He was one paternal penguin. Mr. Greedy, a prolific penguin dad at the Maryland Zoo, has died at 33, leaving behind a longtime partner and 230 descendants. A lot of offspring.
Yeah. He's like
the African
Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan.
Yeah, Genghis Khan has Genghis. How do you say it? How do you say it?
I say Genghis Khan, but I don't know if that's the real way.
I feel like you're like very intentional how you say things. You like think about it. So
Really? Certain words I do.
Yeah, but I mean, I haven't thought about
certain words I do, but
Genghis.
Genghis Khan, I just run amok into it.
You just go
say it however
face plant
it
into
out.
it.
Yeah.
You go straight Ashton Kutcher into that word.
The African penguin. Wait, why Ashton Kutcher?
I don't know. I just imagine like running out and doing. He's Ashton Kutcher. He's
like
punked. He punks.
Like I'm punking,
he's punking that word.
The word.
You're gonna analyze my stupid joke now.
I was, yeah. Because Ashton Kutcher was in the news this week.
Was he?
Because he was like, he made past comments about
older now.
He had made past comments about being at Diddy parties.
Oh,
and there's this clip of him. I think it was on that show Hot Ones. And the host,
really?
And the host asks him, "Do you have any stories about partying with Diddy?" Oh. And he looks super awkward. He goes, "I can't tell that one. No, I can't tell. There's a lot that I can't tell."
Oh, jeez.
So it looks kind of shady. But anyway, back to the dead penguin.
Yes.
With 230 offspring. The African penguin, who helped keep his endangered species alive, moved to the Baltimore Zoo's Penguin Coast in 1992 and matched with his mate known as Mrs. Greedy. After 2 years there, Mr. Greedy was very protective of Mrs. Greedy and their offspring.
Like he moved there? What did he like rent a U-Haul and like
chose to relocate?
He's like, you know what? Let's move out to it sounds nice out there at Baltimore Zoo.
I don't like living here. I don't know where he came from, like another zoo, or was he just in the wild? I'm going to move from this.
He moved.
I'm going to move
like the language there.
From this South African paradise to a cage in Maryland.
Where I'm just mating.
It's always been
it's probably not the worst.
I will say this.
I'm just greedy there.
I am very glad to finally see a story about zoo penguins that isn't gay. I feel like maybe he had to like sire all those offspring because every other zoo penguin I've heard about is into other dudes now.
They're all gay.
They all just are gay penguins that raise an egg together. Huh. He's the one actually busy making the eggs. Mr. Greedy, who was
is that what that movie Happy Feet's about? Just a bunch of gay penguins.
I don't know if they're gay in that one or not. I never saw Happy Feet.
Me either.
No. Mr. Greedy, who was the oldest penguin at the zoo and far outlived his species' typical life expectancy of 18 years, was part of a program called Species Survival Plan to keep his species of African penguin from going extinct. The late penguin. What is this here? I don't know what that means. There's some comment there. I don't know.
Oh, you remember you wonder if they had, because they have these programs, they have programs for penguins who had been raped by seals.
What is that?
Remember we found that picture of a seal raping a penguin?
Oh, maybe we did. That's right.
That was an early episode.
Yes.
And you were laughing really hard at it.
I don't know.
It's like an actual photo.
I don't watch the show. I'm not a fan.
Yeah. Well, I have to edit the clips out, so I have to watch it.
Mr. Greedy, the late penguin, who was euthanized due to age-related declining health. I like that they say he died through the whole article, and then in the final sentence they say, well, we killed him.
We killed him.
We offed him.
He moved to Baltimore, and then he died a natural death.
He was incredibly important to the continued existence of African penguins throughout the world. So thank you, Mr. Greedy.
Wow. Mr. Greedy.
For a greedy penguin, he gave a lot.
He's the penguin Father Abraham.
Yeah. The penguin Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon has a lot of kids?
Yeah.
Or Elon Musk?
That. Yeah, Elon Musk too. Nick Cannon, doesn't he have like what is Nick Cannon? How many kids?
I don't get why he keeps why do you hear his name so often? I only know him as like the Masked Singer host.
12. He has 12 kids.
They have crazy names like MC99 or something.
No, I think they have regular names. Why would they? Why would they have crazy?
A lot of people have a lot of names in their celebrities. Seem like they have more like Musk, you know.
Okay.
And then George Foreman had all George.
Yes, that's right.
Famously. Seems confusing.
Yeah.
Well, we're at that part of the show where we want to thank you, the viewer, for tuning in and joining us.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll spit in my throat.
That's it. That's gross. But no, thank you all for watching. We really appreciate all the fans that come back and our new fans who join.
Yeah, so new welcome if you're new.
Yes.
If you found us, every week I saw people like, oh, there's where you guys are now.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I don't know how you're finding us, but please share.
We don't have a big marketing machine. People
we don't have advertising.
They just have to find us.
So that's why we do this portion, begging you to comment, like, share.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends, you know.
You guys know Ethan and Adam? They have a podcast.
Remember that? Those guys from the Babylon Bee over there?
I forgot. I should do this at the top. I always forget. I'm going to be at Side Splitters in Tampa, Florida. September 29th, this Sunday. So
you Floridians
show.
Yeah, don't miss it.
And then I'll be at McCurdy's in Sarasota the following week. My quick plug.
Sarasota. All right. Well, we always like to read a featured comment from YouTube and Apple Podcasts. So this one's from last episode when Kira was here, from Corey Cox 4193. I love Kira. She would be great as a regular. Oh, does say she would be great as a regular recurring guest. Heck, she'd be a fantastic third co-host if y'all could convince her to do it. Same with Travis Anderson. I don't know if he did that on purpose, because I've accidentally called Trevor Anderson Travis Anderson before.
Oh, really?
So Trevor, if he's watching, I'm so sorry. But maybe also, it's funny.
Maybe there's another Travis Anderson out there that we need to get.
Yeah, we got to get him on.
Maybe it's a different person that we haven't met yet. But no, Kira was great. She was great when she was here with
I like that he edited
three
it.
of us.
It says edited.
Oh, yes.
So he edited and it still has a typo there.
It still has a typo.
And the wrong name for Trevor. We love you, Corey Cox.
And here's our Apple podcast featured review. I'm down with the talk down. Ethan and Adam are two of the funniest, most relatable podcasters out there right now. I have to listen when no one else is around at work because their irreverent takes on the week's news stories always make me chortle out loud. And in Matt losing it, add in Matt losing it in the background almost every episode, and this show never fails to tickle my funny bone. Glad we're tickling your funny bone.
We're making you chortle.
Yes.
I was wondering
Chortle's a great word.
What is I would love to figure out what is what. You know, like a laugh, a guffaw, a cackle, a chortle. Because I imagine a chortle is like you're in the middle of eating walnuts or something.
Yeah. It's a very gruff kind of sound, I imagine.
Like you're almost coughing and laughing.
Yeah. We should Google like if there's a sound effect bank of all the different descriptions of laughter sounds and see which one's which.
A giggle.
Yeah. A guffaw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a guffaw. I watched remember The Mask?
Yeah, the Jim Carrey movie?
Yeah, I saw it in the theaters. There was a guy sitting all by himself. Huge guy, looked like 500-pound life status. Looked like kind of like Mario without the hat on, like just a morbidly obese Mario, big black mustache, hairy. And he laughed. He did like a true guffaw every time he was laugh. And then he'd look back at everybody else in the audience, like, "That's good. That's good. That is good." Like we were all there with him.
Oh man!
And just through the whole movie. Nonstop. It was amazing.
My favorite movie theater experience, it wasn't a laugh, but me and my one of my best friends, Dan, we went to see Avengers Endgame. That's the one where they all die, right? I always get Infinity War and Endgame confused. It's the one where they like so many of them it was the Civil War? It was the one. No, it definitely wasn't Civil War. It was either Infinity War or Endgame. It was the one where Iron Man dies. And it's a very
bunch of people die and you're like, BS.
But it's this very sad moment. And it's like near the end of the movie and Iron Man is dying and the whole audience, it's like deathly silent in the theater. And some guy down front just hard cries, goes,
hard cries,
like hard cry, like bawling. And me and my friend start laughing as Iron Man dies because there's just this guy hard crying in the theater.
I have the weirdest. I think my son's changed a bit, but like for some reason, for a long time, he was obsessed with the bad guys winning. I told him like, you're not going to get a lot of movies with bad guys win. I'm sorry, son, but like it's just not how it works.
Yeah.
And then so he saw that movie. And he loved it. He was like just celebrating as all the heroes were dying. And he was like, Thanos. And then we watched the next one and he cried at the end when like they came back and they defeated Thanos or whatever.
I thought that was lame too. I think I'm not good with the Marvel movies. I think the first...
Yeah, it's too much.
I think in the first one, a lot of them die and then they come back in the next one, but then Iron Man does die in that one. I think that's...
Yeah, something. I don't know. They tried to like sacrifice somebody.
Yeah. I've lost track of...
It's just too much going on.
There's too many of them.
Yeah. Anyway, please like, subscribe, leave comments, reviews. We really appreciate it, especially Apple Podcast reviews. We're running low on ones.
Especially positive reviews. Those are
positive ones are the best.
Positives are the ones that we're going for.
All right. Well, you got any weekly thoughts?
Yeah, it's
Adam?
time for
your weekly thoughts.
It's time for Adam's weekly.
You've been sitting on a yacht.
I had a lot of time to think.
Thinking hard. So
you must have yacht this week.
A lot of thoughts.
So we'll see what thoughts occurred to me this week.
So one of your thoughts was, "Wow, I'm on a yacht." And another one was like, "Oh, I'm in Greece right now."
Beautiful yacht, yeah.
Okay, here he goes. He's winding up for the thoughts.
Peter Dinklage sounds like an offensive name you'd make up to insult a little person. That's his actual name.
Yeah, yeah.
It sounds like a name you'd call him to mock him.
Right.
That's his real name, Peter Dinklage.
It sounds like I always thought it sounded like a mocking thing you'd say about somebody who's wang. Like
it sounds derogatory.
you're suffering from a little bit of Peter Dinklage down there.
I was at a pet store and they had beta fish, so I tried showing them Andrew Tate videos to make them more alpha.
I love that too because they're like the most alpha fish there are, right? Like they have to keep them separated because they're like looking at the
beta fish.
They're just looking around like I want to murder somebody.
They're the ones if you put a mirror in front of them, they go crazy, bristle up and try to fight it.
Like they're the Andrew Tates.
Andrew Tate also does that. If you show a mirror, he tries to fight. He bristles and tries to fight himself. He goes, "No, I get to imprison those." He goes, "I get to imprison those women."
And when he gets in a fight, he does the same thing. He just fights with his face the whole time.
Yeah.
It's like the worst animal to be fighting. Like as a fighter, like I have to fight, but I'm a fish, so I just have to fight with my face only.
I was driving the other day and the gas light on my car came on and it said I had 30 miles left, but I was able to drive another 40 before I actually had to stop and get gas, which means my gas light was gaslighting me.
Nice. Matt liked that one too.
Yeah, he's really loving it.
I think he guffawed.
You guys are really loving that. That was more than a chortle, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a magnetic personality, but like when you turn the magnet around and it pushes other magnets away.
Okay, got it. You're the one of those ones.
Where does balsa wood come from? You ever, like when I was a kid, we'd make like pine wood derby cars and like crafts out of balsa wood.
It's really brittle wood, right?
Yeah, but I was thinking there has to be somewhere in the world where if you like swerve off the road and hit a tree, it's balsa wood and it just snaps and you keep going.
You just keep going. You
just hit a tree and it's fine because it's balsa wood.
Don't worry, it's just balsa wood.
Yeah. How is the Philadelphia Phillies a legitimate sports team name? It's just the name of the city turned into a plural noun.
Right.
That's like if there was a team called the Chicago Chicagies or the San Francisco San Francisquis. You couldn't do that in any other city.
I kind of like it.
Did you watch the movie The Land Before Time?
Yeah.
I loved that movie as a kid. And I remember they
made like 6,000 different.
They came out with all those sequels. Remember?
Yeah, sequels.
I looked up. There's now 14 Land Before Time movies. How have they not reached time yet?
Nice. All right, well, I just have some really dumb ones here for you.
Oh, because mine were brilliant.
Yours. I mean, you're a professional.
There wasn't a dumb one in there.
I have 2 lists for you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is so dumb. One is just a list of things that are funny, but I don't exactly know why they're funny.
Okay,
so I'm just gonna go down this list. This is from experience. Japanese people in turbulence. Have I told you about when I was on a flight?
No, but it sounds like it's gonna be racist.
And like, there's a ton of Japanese people on this flight, and every single time they hit really bad turbulence, like it felt like the plane was just dropping out of the sky for a second, and then it.
Yeah, I've been on those.
Like, oh. So like as soon as it did, everybody goes. Oh, 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 yeah, oh, yeah, something like that. Oh,
yeah.
Have you seen the show Scare Tactics?
I'm aware of it. Yeah, I haven't seen
Every
it
time they get a gay person on there, they're the funniest. Fat people falling down.
Wait, that was the whole thought? The whole thought was gay.
That's one of the lists. It's on my list of things that are funny. I haven't quite figured out why. Fat people falling down. I think probably because
gay people are more expressive.
Yeah.
Like gay, because it's stereotypical, but a woman you expect to scream and act in a feminine manner.
That could be it.
And a man,
well, they're more dramatic.
A man probably tries to act cool, a straight man.
Right.
But a gay man is probably very flamboyant.
And because there's a really famous, if you can find that clip, it's where a rat man.
Yes, I've seen that one. Yeah.
And the guy's gay and he freaks out, the little rat man.
Yeah, I have seen that one.
Fat people falling down is funnier than the skinny people falling down.
Yes,
I think it's because they start falling before the rest of their body does.
Oh, yeah.
Something about it.
Oh, that when I was a kid, I was at the school bus. We were leaving. I remember sitting on the school bus by the window, and as we were pulling out of the school, there was a fat couple on those motorized scooters, yeah. And they both tried to like go like down the curb ramp to cross the street. And it was like uneven, and both of their scooters fell over, and they were fat and couldn't get up like turtles. And it was sad, but I couldn't stop laughing. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Well, I think it's also because fat people, I know from experience, move carefully.
Oh,
because number one, falling down hurts more. Number two, you don't fit into your clothes so well. So you're always afraid that if you move wrong, you're going to reveal more than you want to. And so I think that makes it funnier because you're moving more carefully. So when you fall down, your whole body just goes like all out falling. Loses full control. It's funnier.
And also, falling gets less funny as you're older. When a young person falls, you know they're probably okay. When an older person falls, you're like, oh, they might be dead.
Right. And a fat person, they have a lot of padding.
They're not going to recover from that.
Right. This is just a dumb one, but when people try to pronounce the city in Washington, Spokane, but they say Spokane.
Yeah. I've said it both ways. I know what it is.
When I hear that.
Spokane. I know it's Spokane, but it looks like Spokane. Like,
I've lived in Washington. I was pretty much just born in Washington.
I guess when you're born hearing it makes sense. But I think to anyone anywhere else that when they look at that, it
looks like Spokane. Yeah. And then this is just funny. I mean, my wife sometimes sleeps with her legs crossed, like Sharon Stone in Basic Instinct, not uncrossed, but like crossed, but like laying on her back with her legs up. I haven't told her this, that sometimes they'll be like crossed like this, like in bed, and just sleep like that. Yeah, it's so weird.
The symptom of asmomitis.
Asmomitis, that could be it. Yeah. All right, here's my second list. That wasn't the greatest, but those
are good thoughts.
So this list is kind of short, but it's so dumb. It's combining really black things with really white things.
Okay.
Kyle Rittenhouse of Pain.
Okay, I hope this is a very short list.
Black Lives Matter.
Okay.
Klutang Clan. The Klutang Clan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lord of the Blings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one more. Dave Chappelleton.
Dave Chappelleton.
You know, Pelotons with bikes.
It's a black thing mixed with a white thing.
Yeah, it's a really black and really white. Yeah. That's the whole idea.
Do you know that in Africa? Do you know that in Africa?
That thought was funny.
Do you know that in Africa they put the country with the whitest name right next to the country with the blackest name?
Wait, Niger and
Chad.
Chad, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that Chad even looks like a guy named Chad. Like it looks like a dude with like a mullet and like a
and it's weird, right next to a country that's spelled Niger.
A pompadour hairdo.
Chad.
Yeah.
So that's it for your list?
That's it.
We did it. Those were the weekly thoughts.
That's it. We did our weekly thoughts.
It was another success. And then of course we saw.
I like how that segment's called Adam's Weekly Thoughts.
And then you you add Ethan's thoughts.
Yeah, little Ethan spice.
Yeah.
All right. We went to this movie. It was Dinesh D'Souza's latest cinematic masterpiece.
Trump. I always make sure to be there. You know how like kids used to line up for Star Wars at midnight the night before, dressed up?
That's what you do.
That's what I do at
D'Souza movies.
D'Souza movies. I dress up as a 4,000 Mule or whatever that movie was called.
4,000 Mule? 2,000 Mules?
2,000 Mules.
What's that about? I don't know that one.
That was about like the alleged voter fraud in the 2020 election, about how they were supposedly casting fake ballots.
He managed to put one of these out every year, basically.
Yeah, it's because he's that talented of a filmmaker.
He's crazy. Obama's America. I remember that one.
I never saw.
He did the one with Trump where like it was
I did.
Trump.
For the bit, I was there at midnight dressed up as Obama.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I remember because we interviewed him when he released the Trump where Trump and Lincoln are like one man.
Oh, okay.
It's like I can't remember exactly how I had to ask. Like, it's kind of like you really think Trump and Lincoln are like equal presidents?
I like how on the movie poster.
I guess he made a whole movie about it. So.
I like how on this movie poster it's like an AI painting of the Trump photo.
I'm guessing it's just somebody who painted over a photo of Trump very badly with
why
digital
not just
paint.
Use the real photo?
I know his eyes are freaky in that picture.
That real photo is famous, but yeah, this is called Vindicating Trump. And I would say my review is it totally vindicates Trump.
Yeah, everything completely.
It's vindicated.
I mean, it's a tough movie to watch because there's a group of people that have to follow him around.
Yes.
And no matter what he does, they have to vindicate it.
Yeah.
So he can just say anything. And it's you have to really respect people that job. It's a crazy job. Mike Rowe should interview them.
And it's weird because they're like we got to make sure we cover this Butler, Pennsylvania rally well. And they're like, why? And like, no, something's going to happen.
Anyway, so yeah, Vindicating Trump, 5 stars. Well, thank you.
Out of how many? 5?
5.
5 out of 5?
5 out of 5, man. It was another D'Souza Palooza.
Rated fresh by our podcast.
Rated fresh, 100%. I mean, just based on the painting on the cover alone. I mean, those eyes
say it all.
It really does look like someone took a photo of Trump.
That's the look of a vindicated man.
And they photoshopped new eyes on the photo.
Yeah.
It's freaky.
And they made the blood a little different. They made it like a little clean.
More glistening, but I'm pretty sure they left it
smudged.
I think they left the chin and the jowls as is. I don't think they did anything with the jowls.
It doesn't so much look like he's been shot as that he ate a jelly donut. Like, Mr. President, you have a little something. Well,
we did it. Another episode. That's 22 episodes.
In the bag.
Down the drain. In the bag. Yeah.
Down the drain.
Down the drain.
Up shit creek.
Up your assamom.
Assamomitis.
Okay, well, I want to thank Matt McDavid for laughing, even when we're not that funny, and doing all the true heavy lifting of setting this whole thing up. I want to thank my wife for letting me take the night off to do this, from putting the kids to bed. Frank Fleming and Trevor Anderson. I don't think they did anything again, but we love you guys.
That's Trevor Anderson, not Travis Anderson.
Not Travis Anderson, yeah. Well, I should say Johnny Tutts every week.
Yes, he contributes.
Throws ideas in, and I have used... Kira last week didn't realize that she didn't have to read all of Johnny's jokes, so we got a lot in last week.
Oh, nice.
And she really sold them too.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Anyway, I want to thank and Don. Don does a lot of help with editing, and everyone on Discord contributing stories. Of course, Austin Robertson, the voice of the Talk Down.
And to viewers like you, the listeners who somehow managed to find time to listen to yet another podcast. Always remember, only you can prevent forest fires.
The Talk Down is filmed in a dark room in front of a couple of fake plants. For more information or to become a subscriber, go to thetalkdown.com.